Now, I want to speak about this. Somebody's asked about Haris Sultan or Vidu Vids, or why do I show these people respect? Or look, I want to say something. I encourage each and all to be genuine in their journey of life, to pursue what they feel is going to give meaning to their life. Okay. Now, to some people, they, along the way, may not feel that Islam is for them. I mean, although theologically, I feel that Islam does stand the test of time. I feel that it does stand up to any critique or criticism. And on some things, there are nuances where we have to, I feel, we have to reevaluate maybe certain narratives that we have. But I do feel overall Islam does stand the test of time. Maybe not certain manifestations of it, but the deen in and of itself. But there will be people along the way that will disagree with us, and there will be a divergence in our path. But we are still all insan. We are Bani Adam. We are here to discuss. We are here to walk this journey of ours on our own. Okay. And I respect that. I respect that a person can actually think about something, that they can actually examine something. Because not most, but many, there are many atheists that I've met. I mean, I haven't met thousands and thousands that I've discussed with, but I've met a certain amount of people that I've had some good, deep dialogical discussions with. And in all honesty, many of them have considered and thought about God and religion much more than most religious folk. And that's, in my experience, like, they actually take it very seriously. This is the problem with them, that they take it far too seriously. But I respect that. I respect the courage it takes to make a decision, even if that decision is to part ways with this faith. Because, look, the Quran is not in need, or Islam is not in need of anybody's faith. The Quran actually says, "Man sha'a falyu'min, man sha'a falyakfur." You know, if you want to believe, believe. If you want to disbelieve, disbelieve. This is the Quran. So we should still, in my understanding, have, and you don't need to, I don't think you need to, I'm not saying everybody must do this, but if you, let's say, do get on with somebody from a human perspective, I think you should. And you should have, you know, that kind of, you should have a friendly bridge to each and all, regardless of their differences. And as human beings, you can get on. Do you think everybody around the Prophet was Muslim? I mean, you're mistaken ridiculously if that's what you think. Because they weren't. They were not Muslim. Okay? In fact, even in the final hours, in the final days of the life of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he needed staple food, he needed wheat, and he needed raw food products to sustain his family. Who did he take it from? Who did he leave as a his shield? He kind of pawned his shield in place for this food. It wasn't the Muslims, it was a Jewish trader. I mean, we're mistaken where we think that the Muslims were so, you know, we have this understanding that Islam came and everybody was just Muslim. That is so far from the truth. Even in the Prophet's lifetime, I don't think the majority, forget the majority of Arabia, the majority of the people of Medina and things like this may not have been Muslim. And that's understandable, because when you think about it, how many people did Hijrah from Mecca? How many people did Hijrah? A few hundred. That's it, really. You know, what do you think? Like 10,000 people got up and left? No, they didn't. And in Medina, how many people do you think embraced Islam? I'm sure they did in the hundreds, but that's it. They weren't like hundreds of thousands. And they say at the end of the Prophet's life, people say in some narrations that all Muslims that could attend the pilgrimage attended, and they were 100,000, they say. And that's from the whole of Arabia, coming from as far down as Arabia Felix, which is Yemen, coming up from that, right up from there to the northern Arabian, which is Arabia Petrea, right, according to the Roman kind of maps, or Arabia Deserta, which is the Hijaz and all of these parts. And you're considering from a population of Arabs that, if you consider the Middle East as well, probably 10 million Arabs, out of whom 100,000 come to the Hajj. 100,000 is a lot, but it's nothing when you're looking at 10 million. And even if you double the number to say that half of those people stayed at home, and you triple it to say, well, they could have had little children, it's still 300,000. Even if you stretch it to 400,000 out of 10 million. It's not a... So I think we live in like a cuckoo kind of universe where we think like everybody just saw the Prophet and embraced Islam, and everybody sung, you know, they and all the companions, and whoever met the companions joined hands, and they all, you know, kind of kumbaya, my lord. It was nothing like that. They were... The Muslims for a few centuries were always a minority. They may have been a dominating minority in certain parts of the world. So even when Bani Umayyah were ruling the Middle East and the Abbasids after them, they were a dominating minority, and they were a powerful kind of minority, but they weren't... Just one moment. What's happened here? Give me a moment. One moment, people. I think this... Just give me un momento. Right, people, un momento, I'm back. Sorry about that. I just, you know, one thing, I had this little drink here and it's kind of spilt, and I was a bit worried it was it spilt over the actual laptop, but no, it hadn't. It's fine. Cool. All right, so back to where I was. All right, so yeah, so I mean, I wanted to add to that. So we sometimes live in this kind of cuckoo world that we think that everybody was always so, you know, everybody was just Muslim, and it wasn't like that at all. So coming back to Haris Sultan, I wanted to say actually, because somebody reminded me, look, first of all, we should be secure about our faith. I want to be very clear on that. If somebody challenges Islam, they don't intimidate my faith. Okay, I want to be absolute, and I do disagree with the way that certain people, with the way sometimes certain people do respond. Like there was the case of Junaid Hafiz, which I spoke about, where the apostate, if he was an apostate, he's sentenced to the blasphemy laws in Pakistan, and I've got a video on that. Do check it out. But I wanted to highlight that regarding that, I know I did see several people sent me a post of Abdullah Gondal, who I have a friendly relationship with. And I did read the post, and it was a very kind of angry post following on from the Junaid Hafiz case, and it was kind of F this, F that, F God, F the Prophet, you know, all this kind of stuff. And obviously I don't like that, just as any Muslim wouldn't like it, but right, and several people kind of sent this to me, and they said like, oh, you know, what the hell, and people were kind of, and then he'd said on there that, look, you know, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tear out pages of the Quran, and I'm gonna smoke them up I'm gonna roll them up as a joint and smoke them, smoke the joint on live or something. Now, this kind of stuff. Now, obviously, I don't think he was going to do something like that, but it's saying this kind of stuff, right? Saying this kind of stuff is obviously, you know, so toxic and so kind of radioactive, because it really harms the cause of apostates or of ex-Muslims or of atheists or people like this, because I can understand the frustration. I can understand, because I've got a video myself condemning the Pakistani blasphemy laws and saying that Junaid Hafiz, it is ridiculous and unacceptable by Islam what they are doing to him. And this, you know, it is an affront to Allah and His Messenger that in His name they are conducting these kind of tyrannies. But this kind of stuff in turn obviously aggravates Muslims. And it really, so I do condemn that kind of speech, that kind of rhetoric, that kind of provocative style of saying, look, I'm going to burn the Quran, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Personally, look, if a person wants to burn the Quran, I've got a video on this with the Norway Quran burnings, and I've said that as Muslims, you know, if somebody wants to burn the Quran, if anything, I kind of like pity their naivety and stupidity. Because, I mean, do you really think you're causing harm to the Quran? The Quran isn't being harmed by your, you know, faith is, you know, it's mastaqarra fil qalb, you know. And the thing is that it's not, this isn't like that. By you burning a mushaf, you know, there's a mushaf here. If somebody burnt this mushaf, I mean, I think it's completely unhumane to do something like that. But if somebody burnt it, if anything, I laugh at their stupidity. Because do you think that that's going to, by burning paper, you will eradicate faith from the hearts of the believers? That's not how faith works, or it's not how it ought to work. And should I kind of come and beat you up for burning paper? No, I shouldn't. I should not. If anything, I should just, I should find it amusing how dumb you are. That you actually think that that is harming the faith of Islam. It isn't. So, yeah, but I mean, so I do condemn, look, I agree, I condemn things that are wrong, but having free ideas, free thoughts, to be fair, I don't know, I don't monitor that closely people like these ex-Muslims, Haris Sultan, or the people video vids, but I do watch a few of their things. I am in touch with them on and off. The things I have seen from Haris Sultan, I haven't actually seen him being that, I haven't seen him being that kind of disrespectful, as in saying F God, F the Prophet, I haven't seen that kind of stuff. Whether he does it or not, he is not answerable to me, but I haven't seen that. From what I've seen is he critiques Islam, and he's free to do so. It's his choice. It's and I want to say that this reminds me, I saw a video that was circulated, and there were about 2 or 3 videos, yeah. So in this video, they were really there were obviously some Pakistanis, and they were really offended by his channel, Pakistani Mulhid, the Pakistani apostate and atheist. And they said that, so they dedicate this whole video swearing at him. Just like, you MF, your mum. And one of the videos is dedicated, a huge portion, just at his mum. Just saying his mum is the biggest whore there is. His mum is like this. His mum had 1,000 men in one day. Or his mum had this. Where is your dignity? Like, is this how you defend Islam? That you... And I watched this and I was like, oh my God, this is disgusting. How can I understand that you're offended? He's critiquing Islam, but to react in this way by saying, and then they had his sister, and they had photographs of his sister saying, look, this is what his sister looks like. Oh, I want to do this to her. I want to do that to her. Oh, we want to rape her. We should all get together and rape his sister. And what is wrong with people? Honestly, I thought, what is seriously wrong with these people? Do they think they're doing God a favor? This is where Allah says in the Quran, يَمُنُّونَ عَلَيْكَ أَنْ أَسْلَمُوا. These people, they think they're doing a favor upon you by being Muslim. Upon the Prophet. They're not. It is an insult to the Prophet. To kind of say, and the irony is, this guy, Haris Sultan, his mum and sister are actually Muslim. This is like so, oh my God, they're actually Muslim. They're not ex-Muslim. And they just non-stop going at these people like, oh my God, this whole thing dedicated at everybody, we should screw his female family members. It's like, wow, like this stuff, I find it so degrading. I find it hurtful to see this, that, okay, disagree with the guy, even if he is sarcastic towards Islam, be sarcastic towards him. Fine, be sarcastic towards him. I don't care. Or I think that I'm sarcastic towards many people. But I think there's standards, there's ethics. This Islam, yeah. This is not, honestly, Ya salam, ya salam. See, wow, that's all I have to say, honestly, wow. This is really deeply, so, yeah, so, I mean, I just want to put that out there, that don't support things like that, support critiques, meet ideas with ideas. If somebody challenges your ideas, meet them with strength, meet them with concepts, meet them with eloquence, meet them, but don't F this and F is this and let's all get, and something, I want to mention something, a while back I was chatting with one of my atheist friends from the gym, he works there. We have sometimes we have these vampire kind of dialogues. So it's interesting how he pointed out to me, he's a white guy, he said to me that, have you noticed that whenever there's a video of like, let's say somebody who's either criticizing Islam, or he could be an Islamophobe, like let's say Britain First, or they're clearly racist, or they're clearly Islamophobic, let's say they are, no benefit of the doubt, let's just go in that you've got some people who do hate Islam, and they're always scaring people. He said, have you noticed in the comments on the videos, so many Muslims are always just saying, oh, let's rape her, let's rape her. Like, this woman needs to be raped by so many men. He said, like, have you noticed, like, that Muslims seem to be the only people that seem to make, like, in abundance, so many comments like that. That everybody, and I just find that so ironic that we as a faith, as a deen that is meant to kind of honor women, that says that, you know, the Prophet taught things like Al Jannah tahta aqdam al ummahat, that this is where Jannah is, that in comments and things like this, whenever we get aggressive, the first thing we threaten is let's rape all their women. I mean, what the hell is wrong with people? So yeah, I do find it very disappointing, disheartening, embarrassing as a Muslim to see so many Muslims, and it's not all Muslims, but there are unfortunately a very noisy few that seem to appear to represent. But yeah, so I just wanted to put that out there.